agents are currently assisting other customers. Please stay on the line and your call will be answered shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Whoa! What? Whoa! No, 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 no.
Today's Nerd Fights was brought to you by The Bird is the Ultimate Trek Talker Society. Hey! And also by these guys, because I guess for some reason they want to support Salty. Those sons of bitch.
And we are here. Well, two of us are here. One of us is missing. He's paying the groomer, probably.
He might be off paying for animal groomage.
Yes. Although, and so while we're waiting for him to come back, you know, it's funny because last week, of course, when we were streaming, was your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that we had a family member whose birthday was so close to yours. Because today is actually T'Pring's second birthday.
Well,
she is
way to go, Bat Dog.
Yeah, she is 2 years old today. But, you know, is that underwear on his shirt? Probably. Knowing Jamie, that would just, you know, that would make sense. So
although it is pretty funny that it stayed unblurred.
Yeah, it's like perfectly zoomed in on, you know, his disheveledness.
But it's behind the chair, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You know, what is...
That just looks like a box of shirts. We'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll hope that's what it is.
Oh man.
So yes, Ariel, in case you were wondering if you could see Danny's dirty underwear, well, now you have. You know. Um, that. So while we're waiting, Miss Bunny Penny, first in the house as usual, but probably watching some other streamers right now because that's what she likes to do.
Oh, we hear an
Alex
incoming
is
Danny.
here, and
Gotta show everybody. Oh shit! I forgot to turn my stuff off.
yeah, we
Hey, no, let us know you were coming back.
Yeah, I forgot to turn
we were actually just talking about like trying to figure out if it was your dirty underwear or what we were saying.
No, I did you not look in the private chat? Oh, Dexter. See, what sucks is he's deaf now because he's old. I'll be right back. You got to see him. You won't recognize him.
No, we know where you went, but the pile of clothes stayed in focus from NVIDIA Blur. So Ariel pops in and goes, "Is that underwear on his chair?" And he's like,
no, that's not even my clothing. It's the. I'll tell you something.
It's not. He's just saying that because he didn't want people to know that he actually secretly dresses like a lady. So it's okay. Yes, I know Danny's a silly boy. He dresses like a lady and dances around Las Vegas. Makes lots of money doing that, though. It's amazing how much money you can make doing that.
Actually, you know what's weird, and it's not going to be like creepy weird, but it's
okay.
weird.
So, you guys, you remember I've told you my dog is a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix, right?
Yeah.
But you never ever saw the Chihuahua because he's always so furry. Just saw the Pomeranian. All right, see the Chihuahua now.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah.
See the Chihuahua now.
Yeah. Does he need a bigger box?
That is a big dog for a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Well, he's a Chihuahua Pomeranian mix.
Yeah.
So like when he's shaved, he looks like a giant Chihuahua. Look at that. Damn blur. Look at that face. Stupid blur. There you go.
The dog is not a human, confirmed by NVIDIA.
Yeah, so I got to put it in front of my face.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's the doggo.
First thinks that I'm jealous of Danny's pile of lady clothing. No, not at all.
Yeah.
And Ariel is saying that they chonker doggo.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, chonker generally means big, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he like I said, he's a Chihuahua Pomeranian mix. When his hair's long, he looks like a Pomeranian. But like, I don't know, it just cracks me up when he gets all shaved like this. He looks like a giant Chihuahua.
All right, so we got to get right into it because we have a massive episode to go through today because
An
it's
hour and a half, yes.
Yes, because it's a two-parter. One of the true two-parters on the show. And so Kobol's last Gleaming. So I guess, are we going to do like hot takes? I guess we can do hot takes. So we'll start with Danny because, now did you see, you saw the little intro thing with your reaction to the way this ends?
Yes.
Where you like lost your bloody mind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I did see that, which I actually liked. I think you should include more of those type of clips from our shows that you put only on Patreon, which remember, guys, if you go to supportsalty.com, you can sign up for as low as $5 to see those type of reactions in real time with the show.
Yeah. Get completely
shilling for the
uncensored, unadulterated, the three of us.
Yes.
Yes.
What could go wrong?
Danny does horrible things that you can't do on YouTube.
Hey, actually, you know what? Where I bring the Canadian component, we could call it "You Can't Do That on Television."
You can't do that on television. I used to love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, don't encourage him. All right, so this is the one where we find out that well. This is the one where Head 6 tells Gaius, we're going to have a baby. And they look at said baby. And this is also the one where in like some weird headspace thing, not the real baby, which I still don't understand because later, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I've watched further along. Later, it's actually Sharon and what's his name? Who
Carl.
Starts, no, it starts with H. His call sign. It's
Oh, Hilo. Yeah.
Hilo.
Carl Agathon. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Boomer and Hilo's baby actually, but whatever. And this is the one where Boomer, well, not the Boomer that gives birth to the.
No, this is Bad Boomer.
Yes.
Remember, it's not Boomer that has the baby. Boomer.
Okay, sorry. It's fucking.
Well, yeah,
confusing.
I know.
It sucks because we haven't got to that episode where she gets her call sign yet, because they do give her a call sign.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's actually coming up in the next episode, isn't it?
Okay. Well, all I know is OG Boomer puts 2 in a Adama at the end of the episode. And like, if you watch the trailer, you could see I was like, "What the?" I couldn't I thought he was. I thought he was dead. I thought he was a goner.
Yeah.
But this was a really fun episode with a cliffhanger ending for me, anyway. So, and even though it was an hour and a half long, it didn't feel long. So,
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Ariel meant to say past, sneaking past the American border.
Yeah.
It's like the plot line for a comedy or something going on here.
That would make a great movie, I think. Minus the Danny doing a slow, seductive striptease.
Now, what would be funny is, and only because it would drive Mike nuts, if we did it to Sabotage as
there are little Beastie Boys in there for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the salt of the earth.
Live long and prosper, y'all.
All right, so Jason, anything you want to say about it before we get into the actual play-by-play?
It was probably, I don't remember how I would have felt about it originally, but in my mind, I think it's probably been one of the very best season finales of almost anything, short of maybe the end of season 2 of Battlestar, because that was pretty cliffhangery, but not in the same super dramatic way.
This reminded me of Best of Both Worlds Part 1, the ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like Riker's like fire. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. In this one, I'm so glad I didn't have to wait but maybe 5 minutes to watch the next episode. You poor bastards had to wait like months.
Yeah. There's a couple of seasons in The Expanse that I would put right up there with this one. And of course, always Best of Both Worlds has to be in basically every top 5, especially within the sci-fi realm. But this was huge. Like, I think for me, this is the moment where the show just became, I have to finish this whole thing. I don't care where it goes at this point.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's funny because everybody was wondering, is this going to be a 1-season show? And then they ended it with,
Okay.
remember, this was an expensive show, sci-fi.
They didn't like sign it for X amount of like, for example, Discovery. They knew they had 5 seasons out of the gate. You know,
season 1 was only 13 episodes. That's all they gave them.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until season 2 that they got a full season.
right.
And so if you're not sure that there's going to be a season 2 and you end season 1 with one of the main characters taking 2 to the chest, it's like, whoa, no, you can't do that.
I still argue that. I feel like it was 1 to the gut, 1 to the chest. Like the first one looked like it was in the gut. I don't know, but it was just bad.
The point is, he took 2 bullets.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and so, and plus the way they deal with it in season 2, it's not like, where most shows where in the first episode they just wrap it up in a nice, neat bow. Adama is out of commission for a while.
Yeah.
So, I actually, it blew me away as far as the gut punch that was that final scene, and
Yeah.
at that point it was like, wow, those 13 episodes, I need more, must have more, and I think that's the best way to end any season of TV, especially the first season of a show.
Yeah, always leave them wanting more, man.
Yeah, yeah. And I think too, and I guess as like I'm assuming everyone's going to agree to this, is in the same way that we've been pretty praiseful of Strange New World season 1 being the strongest season 1 for Star Trek series. I got to say that season 1 of Battlestar, even though it's obviously abbreviated where it's a little, on the shorter side,
Still more episodes than Strange New World season, though.
yes, that's for sure. Especially when you consider that the mini series, in essence, has to be considered generally part of season
Which
1.
would be 4 more episodes, basically.
Yeah, in time. Yeah, as far as time expended, yeah. So you're looking at, what is it, like a 16 episode season for
That'd be
season
14
1?
because there was only 10, right? 10 episodes.
Was it
first
12?
season?
No, there were 13.
There were 13.
Kobol's
Okay.
Last Movie Part 2 is episode 13.
Okay, so
Okay,
this
so-
would be
so yeah, so-
like 17 episodes.
17
basically.
episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say, especially in the sci-fi realm, it's probably one of the absolute most solid season 1s across basically any franchise. And I would even put that up against season 1 of The Expanse because
my man.
because
Because you're always
season,
blowing that show, so it's good.
because season 1 of The Expanse had way more lengthy exposition in the first 4 episodes, where the easy way to actually, here's the better way to put it. Season 1 of The Expanse is not as good as season 1 of Battlestar, because if I have to tell people that they must watch the first 4 episodes of The Expanse before they make their final decision about continuing, it could take some tweaks.
It kind of.
But if you watch, but when you watch 33, you're hooked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you watch the mini series and then also know that there's 33 to watch,
Right.
forget
I'm
it.
just saying, like,
yeah.
33 is the first episode proper.
Yeah.
And so if you just sit down and you say, okay, here's the premise. They're trying to escape the Cylons. Say they've seen the old show. You know the deal. They're trying to escape the Cylons and find Earth. You sit down, you put on 33. Mind blown.
Yeah.
So
33 was like, I'd actually say that 33 is the best series premiere of any sci-fi show, bar none, in my opinion. Like, if think about that for a second while I take this call.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard-
I
it's hard to
can't
of
think.
something that tops it.
Man, well, look,
Wait,
Okay. I think he just did that by accident.
so
Y'all are agreeing with me, right? That's what that sounded like?
yeah, no,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're tripping
I'll
over
get back to my
ourselves
call.
here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sci-fi shows specifically. I'm trying to think of a premiere.
Stargate SG-1, the one that actually had nudity in it, that was, it was good.
But it wasn't. It didn't
Wasn't
hook you
this.
like it was.
No.
Like 33 had that intensity to it.
First episode of Atlantis, no. First episode of Stargate Universe, definitely not. First episode of Dark Matter, no. Yeah, I can't think of anything in science fiction specifically, and definitely not the first episode of The Expanse. I can tell you right now, first episode of Expanse.
Yeah, you
for
got to
me-
tell people stay awake through the first episode.
Oh, if I hadn't had all 4 episodes or 5 episodes for the first half of that season, I don't know that I would have actually. It would have taken me months to get back into The Expanse.
Hey, brothers. One of the downsides to being self-employed, I got an email support thing I got to take care of. I'll be as quick as I can. I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, that's
All
okay.
right. Thanks.
That's life.
Danny just wants this live stream to run really, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, my life will be maybe interfering with a slow start tomorrow too. So
Yeah, no, you're not allowed. You know,
I'm not
that's
allowed.
the funny thing, because we were talking about the fact that basically tomorrow you're gonna have to watch Strange New Worlds and then immediately come on.
Go right into it. Yeah, like minimal
And so
processing.
that means that you're gonna come on either elated or angry.
Oh, I gotta. Yeah, it's not gonna be anywhere in the middle. It's gonna be curse all the things, destroy everything,
Yes.
or that was amazing.
Yes.
That they managed to do something that we didn't expect. But
Yeah, it's going to be one. Well, I think I have a feeling tomorrow's episode is going to be extremely divisive.
Yeah, I think there's an obvious selection of reviewers in particular that have long since made up their mind.
Yeah.
But I equally believe that some of those could change their mind if it plays to what they're trying to do in the story. Great. Otherwise, I think everyone's going to be reaching for the Flint.
Well, the problem is now, like for the people that have already decided it's bad, I would caution them that hey, it could be an amazingly surprising episode. You know, for the people that have already decided it's going to be good, I would say it could be an absolute dumpster fire. But I'm not going to judge it until I actually see something, and because I don't think it's fair. Even though the couple of little clips I've seen do not give me high hopes, I'm not going to. I don't really know what the story is. I don't know why everybody's singing in this episode.
Because they touched some kind of weird ribbon in space. That much is clear.
Well, yeah, obviously some kind, but is there a reason for it? Like, is there a Nagilum level alien that's doing this to them? Maybe some kind of godlike being. Because remember, one thing we do know is that number one has a love of musical theater, right? That goes back to the short treks, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so what if some uber powerful alien is trying to figure out humanity and reads her brain and then says, musical theater, I need to learn more about what that is, and then transposes that onto everybody.
Man.
And somehow that becomes Strange New Worlds, the musical. I know, weird, stupid, but hey, look at the weird fantasy world that the Doctor was in season 1. And to me, that one actually worked despite it being silly. So it's possible. It's just that I don't find it likely, so, but I'm not going to decide until I see it. And I'm very curious to hear some of them actually sing.
Yeah, I will definitely give it that. If it's nonstop singing, I'm moving to Kuroga. Amen.
Well, I don't think the entire episode is going to be nonstop. I think that they'll obviously start and finish the episode with a non-musical bit to, for whatever the cause of it is and the resolution of it.
Can you imagine?
Trelane.
Yeah.
That, you see, like Trelane would do something like that.
Potentially.
And so, if I would be very curious, like I could even see Q doing that. Like Q would love, like I could see Q taking Picard and company and making them sing and dance. So it's possible, or who knows? Maybe someone's having a fever dream. like the old Star Trek V excuse, like we see, we end the episode with Uno waking up going, "Whoa, I should not have had that tribble meat," or something.
Well, yeah, maybe something, but yeah, again, I think I agree with Thomas. It's time to move to Kuroga if
Oh, it is never time to move to Kuroga.
oh, if it's all singing, all dancing, oh, I'm going to be very I will enjoy every year of the results of this strike if this is an all singing, all dancing episode.
Well,
Let me tell you. Because holy, Tribbles does not taste like chicken.
no, because it's got human DNA in it, so it tastes
Well,
like-
it does in the right timeline, but
Yeah.
I was going to invoke a little bit of the Matrix and just say this is why everything tastes like chicken because somebody ran out of ideas.
I think the Tribble, Tribble. Well, we know that there's Tribble cereal, so maybe Tribbles just taste like Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Crunch berries.
Yeah.
And yes, Ariel, Jason doesn't like music.
See, now that is what's actually the funniest part is just how broad a spectrum of music I do like, but I cannot stand musicals. It's so weird.
I can. Well, here's the funny thing, because I was in a lot of musical theater when I was younger. Like from grade school all the way through like my early 20s. I was in a ton of productions, and I always, I enjoyed it and love it, but you know what I hate? Going to it. I don't I don't like watching it. I like being in it. There's only one exception. There's one play I really, really enjoyed going to, and that was Book of Mormon.
Yeah, I've never even seen like a video of. I could picture Jason rapping. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
No, you definitely.
I will say this: Book of Mormon is one of the most offensive, crass, vile, disgusting things you will ever see on stage. And you can't stop laughing. There is an entire song dedicated to the F word. And they do not say the F word. They say the word and they sing it, and they have an entire Broadway chorus.
Who wrote the Book of Mormon? Was that the
Trey Parker and Matt
Okay,
Stone.
that's who I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually wrote it, and that's the funny thing. Like Trey and Matt, I saw this one thing with them. They were laughing so hard because the Book of Mormon won a ton of Tony Awards when it was on Broadway. Bird and Lord Dance in the Book of Mormon, yes. They won a ton of Tony Awards on Broadway. So, and remember, the South Park movie actually won the Academy Award for Best Original Song for Blame Canada. And so that means that Trey and Matt are multiple Emmy Award winning, Oscar winning, Tony Award winning writers.
Uh,
They just think that is the dumbest thing ever. They have got so many awards. It's just stupid.
Oh man.
But Thomas, I would love to see Bird and Lord dance together in the Book of Mormon. There are the entire musical basically revolves around a young Mormon going out on his first mission, and he's going to Africa to try and bring the Book of Mormon to an African tribe. And I'm sure you can imagine how things go from there.
Yeah, well, knowing Matt and Trey.
Yeah. Now think about a Broadway musical that pretty much goes like a 2-hour long South Park episode.
Yeah. Slash, the same kind of craziness you saw in the movie Basketball. If you
I've
ever
actually
saw that one.
seen basketball, so no.
Well, it's right up their alley. It's very typical for them. I only ever watched it the once, so I don't really fully remember.
I did
Bye-bye,
see
Penny.
Team America World Police, and like
Have a safe drive.
Have a good one, Miss Bonnie Penny. The America song from Team America World Police is so tame compared to some of the songs in Book of Mormon.
Which is funny because whenever I get, my brain gets a little, trippy comedic over something, like when it's like Way to Go or just something that's just crazy, I just start, it just goes, and it's so hard to stop. America. And if I'm by myself, it might come out all the words because it's just like, it's like, just the way they used it in that whole movie too. They had like the sad version where it's like America.
Yeah. Oh man, that whole sad song with Osama bin Laden.
All right, no, not Bin Laden with Kim Jong Il.
Oh, Kim Jong, yeah,
I'm so lonely. Oh, so lonely. So lonely and lonely. And how did that go?
I don't.
Anyway, yeah, much laughing at that
so
movie.
Bad.
Matt Damon. You know what sucks for Matt?
What's that?
Is for the rest of life, that guy probably can't go a week without bumping into somebody who goes, Matt Damon, when they see him. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, to continue to double down on just, how crazy season 1 of this show is when you consider comparing it to, all kinds of different, and honestly, you could even branch out, just get into dramas or high fantasy or whatever. Like, it's just a solid piece of watching.
Right.
And to it bears repeating as usual, and Danny's even agreed with it as time has gone on all the way through into season 3 now. It's like the writing and the storytelling in general in this whole series is ridiculously dense. For 42-minute episodes, they put Strange New Worlds, even a very good episode of Strange New Worlds, is put to shame.
Oh, sure. And it's because, the one thing that they do with these episodes is they're usually like these episodes, if they were ordinary TV shows, every single regular episode would be a 2-parter because of all the padding that they've cut out, because they cut these shows down to absolute minimalism. And it doesn't feel like it, but that's why I highly recommend, if you
listening to the director's comments.
Yeah, if you have access to the DVDs, or you happen to be a $20 supporter on my Patreon, and you can watch it on my Plex server. You switch over to the Ronald D. Moore commentary and listen to like his whole thought process when they break the stories. And so, because they were constantly like working with scripts that would make the episode an hour and a half long and trying to get it down to 42 minutes, and that was always their challenge, was how can they trim it down? What can they get out of the story in order to make it fit? No, it was never, how do we pad this out, which is what 99.999% of shows do. They write like a 20 to 30 minute story and pad it out to 42.
Yeah. And what's funny too is we can even, without actually reviewing the episodes, we could bring up the fact that only until episode 1 and 2 of season 3 did Danny actually get sort of bored.
Right. And that's only because those 2 episodes were strictly set up for season 4. or for episode
Well,
4?
for season for the Adama maneuver episodes,
Yeah.
Exodus 1 and 2. And once he got through Exodus 1 and 2, he understood why they had to be that way. But at the same time, even though they were boring because they didn't have the level of absolute action, there was so much development going on in those episodes.
Right, and there was nothing you could really cut out.
The only thing that I would negatively compare those two episodes to would be the first two episodes of season 1 of The Expanse, where it's like Basil exposition at every turn,
Mm-hmm.
and then you
Well, and
start
that was-
hitting your
see-
payoff moment. Because for
Right.
me, like the Battle of the Donninger in episode 4 for me is the same way as, you know, Exodus Part 2, where they go full rescue mission and everything is just like dialed up
Right.
to 11.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bird is trying to say Strange New Worlds is orders of, I assume that's of magnitude below Battlestar Galactica. Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not the point of what we're talking about, though. Bird.
Yeah, we're
It's not
just
we're not trying to say Strange New Worlds is crap. We're just saying Battlestar Galactica is really, really good.
yeah, like these are just leagues apart in general. But so
Right.
even bringing things up, it's more to just,
But it's leagues apart from almost. I mean, there are so few shows at this level. That's the
well,
thing.
I mean, you and I've talked about this offline. I think we've mentioned it a couple times here and there. But you know, for me, it's if I give anything, it's a squeaker of an edge to The Expanse over Battlestar, and then Battlestar, and then Stargate, and then Star Trek.
Right.
And yes, I will live and die by that. Like because these shows, in particular, The Expanse and Battlestar, are just, these are textbook lessons in how to actually do really good storytelling. One is
Right.
high fantasy sci-fi, which, you know, Battlestar is very very, very fantasy again, but without crazy shields. Because this one goes into the, you know, gods and God and, you know, all
Right.
the crazy,
It's more about the
those
spirituality and all that
thematic
kind of-
aspects. Yeah.
They don't
Where-
care about explaining the tech.
Yeah. And The Expanse, short of but a couple of MacGuffin-y things, is extremely hard science fiction. Anyone who ever tries to claim Star Trek is hard science fiction can just, you know, take a quick jaunt out the nearest airlock, because it's not hard science fiction.
No.
And Stargate, I'm willing to put above Star Trek, because Stargate knew how to not take itself too seriously and yet still deliver very good moral quandaries. X-Files gets murdered because they killed themselves after season 6 when they decided to do a movie, Alex. X-Files was great one-off storytelling, but they absolutely wrecked themselves by doing the movie and doing everything they did. I gave up on that show after that. And that's another lesson in, you can ruin an entire franchise or movie just in one quick move. So,
Well,
I forgot about that movie.
and see, that's not the big problem with Star Trek, is that I love the franchise as a whole, but if you try to measure Trek as a whole, it is so wildly inconsistent. And so, like, even like some of the good shows, like the original series and TNG, they've got incredibly great episodes like Balance of Terror, Best of Both Worlds. And then they've got episodes like And the Children Shall Lead or The Naked Now, right? They've got really great episodes, and they got really crappy episodes.
Yeah.
And then you have whole shows that are good, like Deep Space Nine, and then whole shows that are not so good, like, I'm sorry, Voyager.
Yeah.
And then you have shows that are absolute dumpster fires, like Discovery.
Yeah.
And then you have shows that are kind of divisive, like Strange New Worlds. So it's like, it's all over the map.
Yeah.
And so you can't, like, say, like with Stargate, and this is where I'll give Stargate some credit. While I haven't watched it all yet, at least it feels consistent. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm suddenly watching a totally different universe one episode.
No, the only real shift in tone was in Stargate Universe, which is why a lot of people didn't like that one.
Right,
But
which I haven't gotten to yet.
yeah,
So
but if you get past season 1, or if you look at any of the guest appearances from people from the previous 2 series, the writing for the characters remains consistent for those people. So because that was still the same crew of people involved, they just made a strange choice. Yeah, I did want to talk about this for a second.
I tend to agree with what Bird's saying here, because while I love The Expanse, I do think towards the end it lost focus.
So the problem with season 5 for me is they didn't find a cohesive way to tell the Naomi Nagata story. I felt that that was too plotting. That's my biggest criticism of season 5. But season 6, the only issue with season 6 was they ran into money issues. Amazon was only going to give them enough money to do 6 episodes. So
Well,
I will cut them all kinds of slack.
Hey guys, I'm back.
6. Hello.
It looks like you just kept it here and just went on a side quest while I was away.
We did.
We were like on multiple.
We've been
sides.
everywhere. We brought up like a dozen different franchise names, and
Okay.
oh man.
Well,
We were talking about musical theater for a while.
Right on. I'm good for now. Something else might come up in a bit. I don't know, but it's good.
Well, it better not, because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
so
keep going.
So Kobol's last Gleaming starts out with the Adamas boxing it out, and they're sparring, and it basically finishes with Commander Adama saying, "You don't lose control," and Lee's like, "Oh, thanks," and he goes, "No, that's not a compliment. You need to lose control," which I thought was interesting. Meanwhile, on Cylon occupied Caprica, Hilo. Wow, he looks like an idiot right there. So, is doing something. I don't remember what they're doing exactly, but they're hanging out in the radiation and having fun. But now what? What? I know it's your birthday, but dang, you just calm down. And so Boomer is in her quarters, kind of depressed. The Adamas are still boxing. The other Sharon is, this is like Carl now knows that she's a Cylon and she's like trying to convince him that she's not, an evil robot.
Yeah.
Which, once you find out your girlfriend's a robot, you've kind of lost it. I think, unless you're Danny sends away for him.
But yeah, this is where he drops her right in the side of the gut, or in the shoulder. Is where he shoots her. Yeah.
I believe so. That's where he shoots her to keep her back. And meanwhile, Boomer is contemplating suicide. And so they're the two of them. It's like the two of them both take a bullet at the same time.
Yeah, it's like this very interesting juxtaposition of
you're roboting, by the way. I don't know.
2 Sharons.
Did you
Sorry,
click on something?
I touched a button. Yeah. Butt is untouched.
All right.
Yeah, it's like they juxtaposed the 2 Sharons.
And so, and also, by the way, Starbuck is having a good old time with Baltar. Whose name did she call out? Was it Lee?
All I know is
yeah, she calls out Lee's name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baltar gets.
I remember Danny's reaction to that was interesting. He was like, "What?" And of course, that was right after that little gala on board Cloud9, because when she finally leaves the room, she's got that slanky dress that she had on.
Right. And the two of them had a dance. So, there you go. He just shot her. Um, and and then this Sharon's like, yeah, I think I'll shoot myself. And Baltar's a little embarrassed about the whole Lee thing, so he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'll just talk to my head 6 version now.
Yeah. Oh,
Who looks
you
like a
jumped over the
therapist.
don't lose control.
Yeah.
Yeah. They jump around so much at the start of this episode because they end up
Yeah,
talking
it's
to Lee
all over the place as far as the
Yeah.
editing. It's great editing, but dang, it's hard to keep track of in something like this.
Yeah, you really can't do scene by scene here because it's like you'd have to write the scene names down.
Yeah. This Sharon not doing too good. And Carl's like, yeah, you're a robot, and we get credits.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget, Head 6 is utterly enraged, subtly enraged, but utterly that Baltar got it on with
Starbuck.
Starbuck because she was not at all pleased with Starbuck.
Yeah.
So
then she challenges Baltar to check to see if there's a chip in his head. So he goes to get an MRI. So this is their version of an MRI machine.
Yeah.
Which looks much roomier than our version of an MRI machine.
I mean, it looks about like the ones I've been in, to be honest with you.
Well, then you've been in much bigger, roomier ones than me.
Yeah, it's Vegas. Maybe we have better medical out here. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt that. No, because the width is about the same, but since it's squared off, you have much more headspace. And whereas ours are two.
I'll be honest with you, I have to get sedated, so in my mind, maybe that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
because
by
the time I'm in there,
at ease.
Yeah, I'm passed out by the time I'm in there. So
the tip of the tube is only a couple of inches away from your nose.
Yeah,
and so this has so much more room there. I would be much less claustrophobic. Yeah, because I really hate.
I remember the first time. That's how I found out I was claustrophobic. I remember the first time I did an MRI, and like just after not even a minute, because you're right, dude. It's like right there. And,
yeah,
and I freaked the fuck out, and I had to frack out, and I had to get out of there. And so now every time I get an MRI, they have to sedate me, which basically means I just fall asleep. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. There's somebody dropping something off. I'm so sorry. It's one of those things.
Danny is just
funny thing for me. When I was a kid, I used to crawl inside the dryer all the time, so I definitely have no claustrophobia problems.
Well, you're Canadian. Canadians all climb in the dryer for warmth. All right, well, let's move on. So the president and the priestess are going over the holy books and talking about what she's supposed to be doing, and then we cut back to Baltar, who's now playing cards and drinking his sorrows away.
Yeah. Doesn't Starbuck come in on this too?
I believe
on
so.
This game.
And what would be great is Head 6 should go around and check everybody's cards for him. And
that would be cool.
That would be proof if she's real or not.
Yeah. Tell me what's on his cards. She'd probably have some philosophically poetic thing to say, but not tell you the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Starbuck comes in and she's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And making everybody feel awkward. So then he goes to see the president because he's the vice president now. So, he has to do meetings.
Yeah. Isn't this that scene where he starts talking to both of them, even though?
Yes, he's answering both of them with the same words at the same time.
Yeah.
And you want to see some great acting, from Gaius Baltar here, from Picard's dad, as Danny likes to say, which you've seen now since you've been watching Picard season 2.
Finished.
Yeah,
it almost finished me.
And so, yeah, Picard's dad is talking to the president and talking to Head Six at the same time and answering two completely unrelated questions with the same words.
Yeah.
And
Gaius Baltar is my spirit animal. I just want to say.
yeah.
You should make a shirt of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, see, now there's a shirt that you could sell on our website that you haven't set up yet.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna no sell
That's
that.
actually that would be a really good one. Gaius Baltar is my spirit animal.
It was my spirit animal. Yeah.
You writing that down?
Oh, I don't need to. Came out of my meat
that
sauce.
one's just too good, right?
You'll forget it within 10 minutes. Yeah, so like right here, the two of them are both talking to him and like saying completely different things, and he's answering both of them, and it's just amazing.
It really is. This dude is a really good actor. I don't like what they did. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of what they've done to him recently, and as far as the episodes we're at, in season 3 or whatever. But
just you wait.
Dude, season 1, this guy is fire. Even season 2.
He has got lots of story to be told.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I love this dude. This dude's great.
Yeah. Baltar is he is a guy. He is definitely an interesting character. And then so Six slams his head into the mirror when he's trying to say he didn't want to do what she was telling him. Which I just love the fact that she can bully him.
Yeah.
She can physically accost him, and there's nothing he can do about it because she's not really there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is she?
Dun dun dun.
But no, it's
So
and actually, you know what's funny? I do have to say that James Callis, who plays this character, as much as Picard season 2 is absolutely reprehensible, he still actually does a terrific job playing the part. And I think Danny,
he's
for sure,
yeah.
Head Baltar that you've now seen in season 2, absolutely is what he must have channeled to be Picard's dad.
Yeah.
and Baltar is a Picard.
Yeah. Picard timeline intermixed with Cylons confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes. Picard is a Cylon. And he is, because he got robotized in season 1. So, dang, there you go. Picard is a Cylon. He's the first human Cylon. We've got it figured out now.
He is Locutus of Borg. So the Borg are Cylons. The Cylons are Borg. I got you. There we go.
We could go with Locutus of Kobol.
Locutus of Kobol.
So, meanwhile, we've got, Raptors going on patrol, having their fun. And what do they find? What you think for a second, is that Earth? Because it sure looks like it could be Earth.
Right? Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Star Killer's losing his mind.
as you can see from yes. Because there are they do find this beautiful planet, and let's see. Yeah, I don't think they find the Cylons here yet.
No, it's when they go back. That's when. Yeah. They're just on their big search, and then they go back. They find, or they send like 4 Raptors or 3 Raptors.
Right, and the Cylons blow up.
Well, yeah, the Cylons are there. One of them gets fried. The other one gets away, and the other one crashes.
Right. All right, so then back down on Radiation Planet, Sharon is convincing Carl not to kill her. And then we go to Starbuck working on her pet raider.
This is post I got banged by Baltar Starbuck. BT.
Yes. So
Maybe
what
that inspired her to be elsewhere, so that's why she's decided to work on the ship.
Starbuck's reaction to having sex with Baltar is to climb inside a raider.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
A rotten, decaying.
Climbs into a giant pile of rotten meat after having sex with Baltar.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You'd think they would have hosed it out at least, you know. Just,
Oh my god.
Cut the meat.
Maybe they were afraid it needed all of that to work properly. All the,
Maybe.
Yeah.
I still remember the crash episode and just how you were when we were watching that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she cut it open and climbed up in there.
Yeah, no, I was not a fan of that.
Oh man, when she was sucking on that oxygen tube.
You were looking away, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were having a hard time keeping your lunch down.
Yeah, just keep it up, man. Keep it up. That's fine. That's fine.
So they get into this big heated little argument debatey thing. Getting all crusty with each other.
It's crazy how different they are, and just like, so we're only on season 3. Both those characters are so different now.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
What's funny is at this point, all I can say, because of how much you've seen Kara go through, is how much more can they break Starbuck?
Right? Good Lord.
Oh, and the answer is lots
more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, it's like, man, you think these people have been through hell? Well, they have, but it's going to get worse.
Well, and as a real quick tangent, by the time we get through to the end of this whole series, and you see all of the acting chops from Katie Sackhoff, you can see why people like myself, who are huge fans of Bo-Katan from the cartoons, which she voiced in both series, and then her live acting in Mando, the fact that they basically kept her so unfortunately controlled in the live action is ridiculous, because her acting range is just all over the place. So she's
but
just
and
so
it's
good
also
at this.
no surprise when you watch this show why she is like the darling of the sci-fi community.
Yeah, she's one of the most liked character actors, I would say.
Yeah. So now the president is having a meeting with Billy and the priestess. Notice the number is 47,897 current survivors. That number.
That's a pretty tentative looking 7 up there. It's just like half etched on.
Maybe someone's sick. Okay, so they're looking at the aerial pictures of the planet, and then the president gets a quick vision, and they realize that this is Kobol, which is where they are all from. The Lords of Kobol is the core to their. It'd be like their Garden of Eden in their mythology,
right?
And so the Lords of Kobol were the original leaders of the 12 tribes that then sent them out to the 12 colonies. But there's also a mysterious 13th tribe that's Earth, and that's the whole point of the show. And so they figure that if they go to Kobol, then there's a picture of the city from the scriptures. And of course, it looks like basically the same roadmap. So if they, if they go there, maybe they can get a clue as to where Earth is. And let's see, moving on. Okay, so she's still, man, just the trigger already. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You're a robot. It's not like
he doesn't. So
That's
Yes,
this is starting to get like Danny when we were watching Exodus Part 1, where you're like, just get rid of her. Get rid of her.
where you want
Get rid of her, Saul.
killing Ellen. Yeah,
Yeah.
just kill her already.
Yeah.
Shoot her in the
Yeah.
head,
that
get
was
her away.
wrong. All right, so then Baltar happens to walk in on Boomer as she's cleaning her gun and tries to kind of talk her down a little bit. And he thinks he did a pretty darn good job until he walks away from her cabin and we hear the gunshot.
Yeah. Single crack, and then just like, I have to go now.
Yeah, and there's Six looking back going, uh-oh. So meanwhile, they are now planning on taking a trip there. And it turns out she is the worst person there ever was at shooting themselves in the head. Because FYI, if you're going to shoot yourself in the head, don't aim for the cheek.
Well, no, it looks like she put the gun in her mouth, but had it at an angle instead of up.
Right.
And
which is
that's
stupid.
what it looked like to me. Yeah, it is stupid. I agree.
Yeah. That's like, that's what.
What do you expect
what
from a Cylon? They don't know where their human brains are supposed to be because they're machines.
That's not a suicide attempt. That's not a suicide attempt. That's a piercing. It's just a big.
Yeah, she was trying to put a gauge in her cheek instead of in her ear.
Yeah.
But
again, and I gotta call this out, is props to the makeup department because they did a good job both with her and her cheek, as well as the other her and the black eye and stuff that she had. So it feels like these are two different people who have different sets of injuries. Does not look like makeup.
From a filming schedule perspective, they must have had fun with this, where there's like, okay, so this week we're going to do all the Sharon on the Galactica. Next week we're going to do all the Sharon on Caprica, because the last thing you need to do is start having, when you noticed Saul's black eye wasn't black enough in one of those episodes,
Right. Yeah.
and you were having some fun and poking at them. But it's like, okay, consistency requires that we do it this way.
Yeah, no, totally.
So Tyrell comes in, and he's like, "Oh man, you're stupid. Shouldn't have shot yourself in the cheek. Should have just, aimed for the brain." And then he leaves. President and Adama have a quick meeting. And talking about the whole thing with going to Kobol. And now we see the 3 Raptors leaving Galactica's forward landing bay. You get a real sense to the scale of Galactica here.
Yeah.
If you look at the size of these Raptors next to the ship.
Oh, yeah.
You realize, wow, that is a big ship.
Dude, like that episode we just watched where it was like, what did you call it? The Adama maneuver. That was dope, man.
When he just drops the Galactica.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine how big that is and why it was, flaming up like that. And then just
yeah. Well, I mean, that's like if you were to drop a Star Destroyer from orbit.
Yeah.
It's that big.
Right.
So
yeah.
Well, and the amazing thing is that Gary Hutzel and the effects team pulled that off, and made it look good.
It looked
because
good. It looked so good.
Yeah, it did look that man, and you could tell they put a lot of work into that one.
Yeah,
they really did. So then, they show up, and guess who's waiting for them? The big bad robots.
Cylon Raiders.
Yes. And so the robots, they do destroy one of the Raptors. The Raptor with the vice president takes a couple of hits. Baltar's
dude.
not doing there.
His facial expressions were cracking me up, and when we were doing the watch along, this was so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got someone's guts and blood all over him.
Yeah,
he's not a happy camper. So they're taking fire and going down, and the other raptor jumps back to Galactica to let them know what happened. And
you missed. There was another funny Baltar moment in between there, but it's all good.
But yeah, so the window is cracked, and they are in low orbit. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, they have Star Killer to save them, so that's going to go so well later.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So Starbuck and Apollo still, having their little tiff, but they kind of sort of are doing a little bit better.
Just kind of sort of.
But the president wants Starbuck to basically pull an act of treason. She wants Starbuck to actually take the Raider and go back to Caprica in order to get the arrow of Apollo, which would unlock the tomb of Athena, so that would show them the map to Earth.
So basically, go be Indiana Jane for a little bit,
right?
And bring her back.
Sending her. She's the NPC sending her on a fetch quest.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so, but if she does it, she'll lose renown within the within the military, but she'll gain renown within the civilian government. And so then she's sitting there talking to Adama and asking, and basically, because the president is like telling her, we need that in order to find Earth. And
she's rocking some of Dee's lip gloss right there. Look at that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking like a snack.
But yeah, she's asking the right questions because she knows Adama so well.
Right.
She's looking for that tell.
Does he actually know where Earth is?
Yeah.
Or do they really need to go back and get that arrow?
Yeah, because she basically just told Rosalind she's out of her frickin' mind.
Right.
And now she's questioning everything because, she wouldn't be asking this question of Adama.
Right. And Adama's answer is very telling because he won't give her an answer. You basically, when are we going to find Earth?
You got to guess?
Soon.
I don't like to guess. I've got the subtitles running off to the side. So are we getting closer?
I don't like to guess.
And he just goes, I'm sure we are. The non-answer answer.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So no wonder she goes off to.
Yeah, exactly.
With the sword of Damocles or whatever.
She's got this look on her face of, the old man's blowing smoke.
Yeah.
So there's a nice shot of the Galactica. I don't know if we've seen it from this angle before, this shot.
Yeah, it makes, I guess it's probably also perspective, but it makes Colonial 1 look bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is obviously Starbuck flying the Raider. They're supposedly just doing some basic tests on the Raider's flight systems. But then there's your favorite. Yeah. So Starbuck, while wrapped up in all them yummy guts.
Yeah.
Decides to just jump.
That'll make you think about ever saying, get up in them guts again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really. You so this is what you're talking about, right?
Well, Starbucks sure as hell got up in them guts. That's for damn sure. So
yeah.
And so she decides to jump away.
Yeah, she has like a little tete-a-tete with Actual. I'll just read the lines because it goes by real quick.
Yeah.
Be sure what Commander, she's spinning up the Raiders FTL drive. What? This is an autopilot. Yeah, what the hell is she doing? What are you doing, Kara? and then pulls off to the way, and then zoop, gone. But yeah, she has a quick tete-a-tete with Adama, and basically apologizes in a way, but says no, gotta
Yeah.
go.
I remember having so
for
much
what
fun.
she's about to do.
Yeah, I remember having so much fun watching this episode because, like, at the end, I'm like, "But what about the, like, the crashed and like Starbucks, where's she going? Like, what are they gonna like?" Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was my new favorite episode, but that was then. That was a while.
Yeah. More will come. And then just
And that
at
was
the
it
very
for part
tail end.
one.
Yeah. At the very
Yeah.
tail end of that, Saul asks Adama, where did she go? And he knows, and he goes, home. And then
No,
zoop.
and lucky me, unlike you poor bastards.
Very
I
unlucky
got to
people.
watch this like minutes later with you guys, like for
Yeah.
my first watch, so I didn't have to wait.
Yes,
So
you didn't have
Yeah.
to wait a week.
yes.
Sure. So, part 2 picks up, and we
Answer
see the
one
crash
of my
site
questions
where
right away.
they went down.
Yes.
I gotta say, for falling from orbit, that's a pretty good landing. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they literally fell from orbit. It's amazing that there's anything recognizable. So they did a pretty good job there. But, they're still kind of wrecked. So, meanwhile, 6 is just fine because he's just in his head. You need to take that and go away for 10 minutes again.
Just let me check. I won't be gone long.
So, in 10 minutes, we'll see him again. All right. So, 6 is trying to get Baltar to go through the flames. He finally, does because, he's more afraid of 6, I guess.
The power
than
of
fire.
love compels you.
Yes. I don't think it was love. I think it was something else.
Yeah. Everything's blowing all to smithereens.
Hi, T'Pring. Yes, that's my forehead. Thank you. Yes, thank you for that.
So yeah, we get back to Kobol, Caprica.
Yes.
And then she starts filling in Hilo.
Yeah, they're kind of doing okay now.
Yeah, but she starts filling Hilo in on the whole finding the way to Earth. Yeah.
And so yeah, she's not trying to pretend anything. She's just telling them the truth now. Meanwhile, Adama and Ty are like, yeah, this sucks. And so things are getting a little tense between Adama and the president because he knows that she asked Starbuck to do this. Not a good situation.
Yeah, well, and I love that line from because I've got it up here. I love the line from Colonel Ty. No one coerces Starbuck. Believe me, I've tried.
Yeah. And hey, Gorilla, how you doing? I'm being attacked by the bat. Yes, I know, T'Pring, it's your birthday. I know it's your birthday. Yes, it is. All right, so moving forward a little bit.
I love the line from Rosalind too. Let's save some time here, Commander. The question you really want to ask me is whether or not I asked Lieutenant Thrace to take the Raider. And this is one of the things that makes the writing in this so sharp. Like, there's none of this stupid, angsty, we're going to pretend that we're playing some kind of weird little reindeer games.
Right. And that could have been like, if this were a typical, like writer's room kind of show.
And classical broadcast TV type show too.
Right. You could have had an entire episode just revolving around Adama trying to get the president to admit that she asked Starbuck to take the Raider. But instead, it's just like, okay, let's just not beat around the bush. Yes, I did it. And let's move on.
Yeah.
Next plot point, please.
Yeah. We have vastly more important things to get to. So
Yes.
get on with it.
Yeah. Now, of course, everybody's going with the story that she was cleaning her weapon and it accidentally discharged.
Yeah.
That this was not a suicide attempt. And, I can see why, because after all, again, and boy, it really does look like her face is all swollen up from that, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it would be.
Well, no, but I'm just
but
saying.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
The makeup is
well,
really good.
The beauty thing is because they chose to put that huge bandage on there, it really let them get away with, kind of reshaping that whole form.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what her licking the microphone sounds like to you, but hopefully it's not too loud.
Hello, Lisa.
Oh, hi, Lisa. How you doing? We're doing okay. This is the Bat to Pring, and it's her birthday. So she is just being extra rambunctious today.
So yeah, they start getting Raptors loaded up with Marines.
Yeah.
And then we jump back to she's hoping she's actually made it where she's supposed to go. And
right. Which, notice they do not have, like view screens and fancy Star Trek tech. She just has to literally look out of the slit in the front of the Raider.
Yeah, she pitches the nose around a little bit, and it's like,
Yes.
oh, look.
There's the planet.
Yeah.
And so, meanwhile, on the planet, other Sharon and Carl are still hanging out and kind of making amends about everything.
Sorry about that.
That's right. And so here's where the Marines are going to forcibly take Colonial One because the president ordered Starbuck to take the Raider, and that was a military asset.
Yeah.
And the Traveler is here. Your favorite character from Picard season 2.
I don't know if you're talking
Traveler.
I know you
Yes.
ain't talking to me.
No, I'm talking to Jason.
Oh, okay.
Who's in this scene?
No, the Traveler is here in the chat.
Oh, the
Traveler was your favorite character from Picard season 2.
Oh,
because
man.
just so you know, this particular YouTuber used to go by the name
Yes,
Wesley.
yes. It's Wesley. Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. As a quick side note, I it was like watching the worst kind of car crash. That whole scene that you were wiping from your mind again, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yep. Yeah. Mike had much laughter at me because I engulfed the Skype with many complainy, ranty question statements, and all I got back was lol.
So also, so Boomer and Racetrack are going on a mission to take down the Cylon base ship. And so the basic premise of the mission, they have the Cylon transponder. So that means that the Cylons will think they're Cylons, and they can land the Raptor in the base ship and then drop a nuke off and then take off, and the nuke takes out the base ship. Sound plan. The original plan was to do it with the Raider, and that's one of the reasons that they're also trying to take Colonial One at the same time. And so it does actually make sense to do it with the Raider, but since Starbucks stole the Raider, they're going to try to do it with a Raptor.
Right.
So they can get people to the surface of Kobol. And so, meanwhile, everybody's kind of bracing for the fact that they know that Adama's about to invade Colonial One, and they don't have a prayer. On the planet, in beautiful Vancouver, BC.
Yeah.
This is actually, this is actually what
Crazy.
I think
Col-
Portland,
color
Oregon
filter.
looks like today.
Super overexposed.
Yeah, I love how they do that to make it still seem like apocalyptic
Radioactive.
fallout. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, orange filter means radiation.
Yeah.
So Starbuck is going into the museum to find the arrow, and she's also giving herself radiation meds, which is now that's something they have that we obviously don't, is anti-radiation medication, which would be very handy for going into, any kind of radioactive situation.
Mm-hmm.
Those visits to Chernobyl would be so much nicer.
So the Raptor is heading straight up to the base star. And, that's a very ominous shot as they're getting closer and closer. You start to realize how big these base ships really are.
If you were going to make a joke clip, you could start playing the music from Spaceball 1 as they start closing in on that. Da-da.
Meanwhile, down on the planet, things are going well.
Oh,
Okay.
is this the one where he loses his shit? No, that's after.
No,
this,
that
isn't
doesn't
it?
happen until next season.
Oh,
It doesn't-
okay.
Yeah, those are the two opening episodes where he's like
That's
screaming
right.
and yelling at absolutely everybody and sending people back for med supplies.
In,
And,
in
Yeah.
this one, he's too green to be in charge. He is doing the best he can.
Yeah.
All things considered. But so and of course Tyrrell being, and this is something that's funny because this goes back to like my army days, and it's so true. If you have an experienced sergeant and you have a brand new lieutenant, the lieutenant will always defer to the sergeant's judgment, always.
or a lieutenant that's only been on one real drop to make
Right.
an Aliens reference.
Right.
Right.
And this is something that always bugs me because Hollywood, and this show included, never ever does that. They always have the new lieutenant be arrogant and think that they know better, because they've been through officer candidate school or whatever. And the fact is that any lieutenant who was actually, like, if this were a real world scenario, the second Chief Tyrrell said, "Hey, we need to do this, this, and this," he'd be like, "Good idea, let's do it." That would, and there wouldn't be any more conversation than that. And it's unfortunate that nobody ever does that. They always make it out that the lieutenant is just an incompetent jerk.
Maybe they're using Russian command architecture instead, because I know they're very much in that direction where it's like the higher the rank, the more the boss.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the lieutenant gets to call the shots because he's an officer, but
Oh yeah. But as a side note in history class, yes, Eastern European Russian doctrine is top down, not bottom up.
right. So Racetrack and Boomer getting really close to that base ship. Look at the size of that thing. And so they're like, "Oh, okay, well, let's go inside." And of course, we kind of find out from this that, you don't get it there, but we will in a minute, that the interior of the base ship looks a lot like the interior of the Raider, as far as at least in the hangar area.
Mm-hmm.
So the base ship is somewhat organic as well, which means lots of juicy meat. Meanwhile, Baltar is taking a nap in the grass and looking at Six because, of course he is.
Of course. Like, why wouldn't you? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And what I really would like to have seen is this shot done without her in it, where she
Right.
helps him up. so that we could have seen like somebody else look over and he has his arm up and he just kind of magically
gets up. Yeah, get somebody in a green suit for that shot and then
Yeah.
just delete it.
Yeah.
Chroma key it out. Yeah.
That would have been friggin' awesome.
Yeah. Just as a side note, I decided to just quickly check because I've never bothered to look this up before. The accepted length of one of those stabby triangle bits on the base stars is 2,082 meters long.
Dang.
Yeah.
So
that's a
and think
mile
about that,
and a quarter.
Yeah. And you think about a Borg cube is 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2/3 of the
Of the size
cube
of
of a Borg cube.
Wow.
Yeah. He said not a little.
So back to Colonial 1 we go. Things are getting intense. They're all okay, guys. Time for some prayer because we're about to be dead.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of security guards with handguns against a squad of Marines. Not looking good. And then back on the planet, Starbuck, and again, they're doing a lot of jumping around, but really, really well done because you don't have any trouble following what's going on, which is what I love. I'm going to try to catch that little blooper we found. You remember that behind the glass here?
Oh, yeah. If you don't catch it, I'm going to manage to catch it here too. Yeah. Remember the one we all had to laugh at, Danny?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's after. If it's not after right there, I think it's after the next jump off to the base star. Oh, no, there it is.
Oh,
there it is.
Look, yeah, you can see him.
Yeah. If you just let it, you could see in the corner the guy's shoulder from the rig.
You see it? Yeah, right there, right behind there. Yeah. His headset, his shoulder. He's wearing.
So this is the camera guy that was filming it from the other angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a multicam shot, so they could get it all in one go, but they oopsied him.
Yeah,
he should have been wearing black head to toe. Then
that would have been better.
But that orange shirt underneath the vest just ruined it.
It's like,
see, that's funny. I thought it was his fat gut hanging out.
Well, either way, he's the Starbucks cup on the set of.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is that's kind of fun. We got, but yeah. So there's the arrow of Apollo.
They should have it should have been. It's not like blink and you'll miss it. It's there for like a
bunch of frames. Yeah.
So it's he's and you can even see his headset right here, on his head. So the director should be going. We can see you. We can see you.
Well, what would suck is they probably would have gone through this in the dailies and completely missed it. And then it went for editing. And then they probably rewatched it later on a larger screen and someone's just looking at it. Son of a...
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing like there's a couple of possibilities because they generally don't have a lot of screw ups like this on the series. And they filmed everything like this on the cheap, where they would film things from multiple angles at the same time instead of different takes. And it's entirely possible they just didn't have any more breakaway glass to refilm it.
Well, that's why I think they did the multicam with this. And it was just like, we got to live with what we got and just hope that the scene cuts quick enough that people don't pay attention.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never did until you brought it up.
I never noticed it
a few weeks ago. Yeah.
He should have been like head to toe, covered all the way to his wrists and stuff. He should have been in black.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, wearing a balaclava and everything.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the set of Stargate SG-1.
Yeah. Well, it is Vancouver.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, this is where every planet is in Stargate SG-1.
There's only a rare episode where they actually go down to someplace in Arizona or something to do shooting.
But it's like this exact location. I don't know where this valley is, but this is where they film every episode.
Seemingly, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I'll bet you those ruins were reused for at least a dozen episodes of Stargate SG-1.
Probably.
That's funny.
So she's going to get the arrow, and who does she bump into but Six? And
Yeah.
Six here is an absolute terror.
Yeah, this is the angry Six too. That
Yeah,
was
this is-
the
yeah,
one
this
that
is
put
not-
the beat on not Boomer up on the roof, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Grumpy Six.
Yeah.
This is not Caprica Six, and I don't. This is, we'll just call her Grumpy. And boy, we see clearly Cylons have enhanced physical capabilities because she just manhandles Starbuck.
Yeah.
Um,
And she runs around the room here like an absolute banshee in a second too.
Yeah, so she's like, she's super agile, super quick, and super strong. And how do you fight that? So back on the base ship, they're like, oh look, it's all made of meat. That's pretty neat.
Hey,
It's the largest.
you rhymed.
It's the largest beef jerky factory ever.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm telling you, I would love it here because you just, you're hungry, just cut a piece out of the wall, throw it on the grill.
Oh man, that reminds me of that skit from Dennis Leary, the one where he's like, "Just walk up the cow and I'll cut off what I want."
Yeah, right.
That's the one where he's got the hubcaps made from seal eyes or whatever. Or
Right.
the I'm an asshole. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So they figure, okay, they're going to drop the nuke, but the nuke don't drop. And so somebody's got to go outside. So Boomer volunteers to go outside to manually release the nuke.
Yeah. Now, you know what's funny is the first time I watched this episode and this, convenient plot issue comes up to get her outside, I was kind of grumpy about it. But at the same time, it's clear that the weapon that's mounted on this Raptor was never meant to be mounted on a Raptor.
Right. It was a complete improv job, and it was supposed to originally go on a Raider, and so they had to quickly redo it.
Yeah.
So
shots fired.
It looks as dark as the Titan.
But
this is unlike that. This is supposed to be a dark setting, and of course, we'll see why shortly. It's in order to keep the sensors from getting too angry,
freaking out. Yeah,
yeah.
When Danny's like, "Shadows, go away."
So, yeah, this is where she's running around, like you were talking about. Like Starbuck just can't get a beat on her.
Yeah.
So, and even though Starbuck's got a gun, it's like, look at that. She's
shows up behind her, just boom. Yeah, you actually in the skipping forward, you missed the big circle of running around, but yeah she was.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just look at the size difference here.
Oh,
I mean, granted, we know that Trisha's a model.
Katie's like 5'5", and Trisha's basically, if she's got heels on, she's like probably 6'2" right there. So yeah.
And it's like, bam, it's like this is no contest here. And I got to say, at least they're not fighting like girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they actually keep it like actual combat.
Oh, nice pause right there, brother.
Right.
Bummer.
All right, and so then we get the big moment on Colonial 1 where the Marines come storming in, and
where they're about to arrest the president,
and so everything's getting really tense there. Meanwhile, Boomer's like, man, I could really go for some of this meat, but I gotta get the nuke ready so we can cook it off.
Yeah. She's fixing to make some well done meat.
All right. There you go. There's your pause for you.
No.
And so that's as close as you're going to get to seeing naked Boomer. Although if you look carefully, he is wearing a bikini, but it's hard to see. And the so this was one of the creepiest things ever, because so we get naked Boomer walking up, and of course the shadows very nicely. I mean, this is very well lit. I love the way they do this.
Yeah, I gotta wonder how long they sat there and fooled with lighting to pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, to try and make it so, because they have to make it look like she is naked, and that's hard to do convincingly, and I think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then we get another one, and she's like, "What?" And another one, and another one, and so before you know it, she's surrounded by copies of herself,
naked ones at that.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny is I was just thinking of all the ones that were sleepers that had no idea and then were all of a sudden made aware of who and what they were. I swear hers is almost the most jarring, because it's not like, oh yeah, P.S. tap, tap, tap. It's like, no, here's a whole field of your sisters.
Yes.
Just walking out. Because,
So,
you know.
Poor Starbuck. Just taking a wallop from 6. And again, I got to say, I mean, because Trisha, and I've heard her say in an interview, Trisha doesn't know how to fight, right? This is like really one of, if not her very first, one of her first fight scenes that she's ever filmed. And she's never fought outside of being on film.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job of making it look like she knew how to fight.
Yeah, between the camera work and whatever stunt coordinator was doing all the fight training with her, they did a really good job.
See, like, that's a really good edit right there.
Yeah.
Like, if you look carefully, what they do is they speed up the punch at just the right time, so that it makes it look like she's hitting her really hard.
Yeah.
Like, okay, watch this part right here. Watch how they you can see she's starting to punch, and she just doesn't have the force to really throw a fast jab, but they speed up the film for just a couple of frames to make it look like she does.
Yeah.
And it really
that's all
works.
it takes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're about to take the long fall.
Yeah. And so, and then meanwhile, things are not going well. And Lee's like, "Yeah, I think we've had enough of this."
Uh-oh.
And so
Yeah.
he pulls out his gun, telling Ty that, look, we are not going to depose the legitimate government just because she made a decision we don't agree with. Now, Lee is right, but
how he decided to...
Yeah, you can't pull a gun on your superior officer like that.
Yeah, he had to know this was not going to end well for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did actually verbally protest and then gets relieved of duty, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, well, relieve this."
Let me just point a gun at your head.
Yeah.
And this is another little bit of typical Hollywood trickery. If you look carefully, the gun is actually not pointed at his head; it's pointed off.
Past him. Yeah. Well. Because
and of course they do that, even though, for purely safety reasons.
Yeah, I don't care how dummy it is. All of my
look at what happened on the set of that one movie recently with Baldwin.
Oh yeah, that was catastrophically bad, but for a whole pile of reasons. But yeah, you want to try to be as careful as you possibly can.
I mean, Michael Hogan would be dead if that actually had a round in it, and he
but even if it was a blank, for instance, if it had
a blank
would still at that proximity would absolutely mess you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to see that even back then a lot of studios were absolutely making sure that they did as much as they could to keep it safe.
And yes, I think he's talking about the naked Boomer part. I think he did more than pause at that point.
We were watching it together, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, this is not gonna go well. And the president's like, no, everybody needs to lower their weapons. And then all the boomers are like, hi, we love you, sister. It's okay. Let us take your helmet off so you can
Yeah.
have some meat.
Yeah, as another one of those, you could have fun with it and do an overdub. You could grab the thing from The Simpsons in One of Us.
Yeah. And so she's like completely freaking out. And she gets back on the Raptor. And of course, Racetrack's like, where's your helmet? You
Yeah.
know?
Don't care, gotta go.
Yeah.
Don't look back, run, run, run. Yeah,
And so
please
you
don't look
see
at all my sisters.
Yeah, you see all the naked boomers there, and there's the nuke. So the naked boomers by the boomer.
Yeah. Wonder how
and it's
intentional
weird.
that was.
Yeah.
Right.
But they do successfully blow up the base ship.
Now, I have to bring something up. Even though this isn't hard science fiction, if you ever look up video footage that was declassified from the U.S. government with regards to, I think it was starfish, when they actually lobbed a nuke into orbit and set it off, it looks, other than the little bits of smoky bits coming off of the ship, because, well, the ship is there.
Right. There wasn't a base ship on the nuke.
Yeah. In real life, yeah. It looks amazingly like this for color, like that big cloud of white zoop.
I've not seen it. Is
It's
it video footage or is it pictures?
It's actual high-res video footage that they took of what does it look like when we cook off a nuke 100 miles above the Earth. They also found out it knocks out communications really bad, so don't do that.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, there's some pretty cool video footage you can find of, I think it's Starfish or Starfish Prime.
Operation Fishbowl.
But yeah, I know it was some kind of fish related name, but yeah, they toss a couple of nukes up into orbit. And that's where we get to see just how big of a whoop you can get in 0G. You watching it now there, are you?
Give me just a second here. And that's present, share screen, window. So here's the Operation Fishbowl as far as what the nuke looked like. This is what it does. That does look a lot like it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so kudos to them for doing a good job as far as
managing to you don't get a mushroom, you get a donut.
Yes.
Right. A bagel.
Yeah. So yeah, big bada boom.
Yeah.
And then back to the other big bada boom.
So, Ty's calling in that they've arrested Lee and they have the situation under control. Dom is not happy. 6 is dead because they fell down and she had some whatchamacallit, rebar go through her.
Yeah,
she got rebarred.
Yes. And stop looking at that, Danny.
What?
I'm sure it's cold in there, but that doesn't matter.
What are you talking about?
It's a little nippy outside
chilly.
on the set.
It's chilly in there. Yes. And so then Carl finds Starbuck, and they have a happy reunion for a second until Starbuck sees other Sharon.
Yeah.
And she's like, gotta kill her. And he's like, no, I know she's a robot, but she's pregnant. And it's like, huh?
Yeah,
Don't
and then
tell
she
her.
just, this is the first moment of her being broken here. It's like,
Yeah, because her good buddy Hilo knocked up a machine somehow.
yeah,
Yeah.
a machine, a machine that she thought was her friend.
Yes. Meanwhile, Gaius and Head Six go to the Opera House.
Mm.
And the Opera House, Danny, you don't know yet, but will be very, very important towards the end of the series.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
they
hope
actually they bring this in very frequently throughout season 3 and 4.
Yeah. So I hope you pay
So-
good attention here at the Opera House.
Yeah,
There's a couple of things.
Well,
Now, they do.
we've pointed out we saw this again recently in one of the episodes we just watched, where you pointed out that it was used in this episode that we're watching now.
Yeah.
yeah. When
'Cause this is where they're about to
Rosalind was
see the
having
baby.
some fever dreams too. I think she was
Yes.
was in
Rosalind
here, yeah.
has visions of the Opera House, and by the way, those sheets hanging from the ceiling have a very special significance that will come into play later. Although they retcon something about them that I won't tell you right now, but
Yeah.
it will change slightly, but only slightly.
Mhm.
And they go up to the sheets and they find their baby in a crib. And of course, they're happy. So meanwhile, they decide, well, guess we got to throw the president in the lockup because, she was a bad girl. And then we get the scene to end all scenes where they bring Lee. Now, you want to talk about your conveniences? Why is Lee in the CIC? Why is he not in the break?
Yeah,
Right.
well, I don't know. Out of courtesy to the old man, maybe. But yeah, that's like, how big of a deviation on board that ship is that to go all the way there
Right.
first?
That's like Scotty going to the bridge with the body of his nephew instead of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's pissed off at Lee, but he'll deal with that later after he shakes Boomer's hand.
Oh God!
Yes. He's
Here
like,
it comes.
yeah, that was a great job there, Boomer. And she's like, thanks. Bam. And he's like, ow, that stung.
And then another one to the chest.
Yeah. And so he goes down, bleeding hard. I remember you were sitting there going, oh man, he's dead. He's
I really thought he was dead. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, well, they only had Edward James Olmos for so long, I guess.
And you're like, holy crap, was not.
And again, if you guys want to see me make terrible predictions that do not come true, go to supportsalty.com. You can join the Patreon and watch these streams and the reactions that my dumbass gives them for as low as just $5 a month.
So, and then we get the shot of Lee holding him, cradling his head, D holding his hand, and
blood everywhere.
Mad.
Keep insides inside.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was
Commercials.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So, and that is Kobol's last Gleaming.
Yeah.
So, we end the season on one of the most sour notes possible.
Yeah, huge cliffhanger. Yeah.
Everything's going sideways everywhere.
Yeah.
So we've got unlike say with Best of Both Worlds, where the cliffhanger is what happens after Riker says fire. We've got people trapped on Kobol. We've got Adama maybe dead. We've got people back on Caprica. We've got Boomer finds out. Well, obviously now we know too, of course, because she just shot the old man. But Boomer knows that she's a Cylon at this point.
And we got Starbuck is on Caprica.
And Starbuck is trapped back on Caprica now.
And Starbuck is broken after seeing that Hilo was with the other Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, by the way, the big reveal for Starbuck that Sharon's a Cylon.
Yeah, so she found out that not only Sharon was a Cylon, but she actually gets the reveal that of what Six looks like.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't know her as Six, but she sees the tall blonde model, so she knows one of the Cylons before anybody else other than Baltar. Well, Baltar and Hilo, of course, but yeah, like there's just all this stuff that opens up for when season 2 kicks off.
Yeah.
And I remember you're like, we got 6 episodes into season 2 before Danny's like, I'm not satisfied yet. I need more resolution. Must keep watching. I think that was when we started doing like partial watches on Saturdays and Sundays too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because he's like, I need more, must have more.
Yeah.
Need more episodes.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's just pieces all, of course, and of course Rosalind's in prison, Son's in prison.
Yeah.
All these threads are fired up.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of it
and you
needs
start
addressing.
thinking about, wait a minute, if Adama is dead or incapacitated, that means that Ty is in charge?
Right. Well, which like is not good, as we're going to find out. It was. Yeah.
Why, hello, invisible person.
Yes, there's a blurry female person behind you.
I didn't notice.
But anyhow,
yes, you did. Don't lie. If you didn't, then you're an idiot.
Just carry on. Pay no attention to the lady in the background.
No, we're not. I'm not moving beyond that.
Mike's like, no, everything's derailed. Nothing nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, who's the lady in the background?
That's the homeowner.
Okay.
Excellent.
Can she hear us? Like if we say hi?
No. And please don't.
No.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Best thing there's just no selling.
So anyway, yes, moving on.
So just unexpected visit then.
Yeah.
Do you need a minute?
No.
Well, how's that line go from Rachel Maddow? This is our country now. This is how we exist now, or whatever.
I'm not familiar with the line, but that's yes.
Those recorded 911 calls where the person is pretending they're not talking to 911. If you need help, blink twice.
Oh, mercy.
Just, so do you need us to send someone?
No.
Say yes or no.
Yeah. So while I don't know how much of it you heard when you had to step away at the early part, but we couldn't find anything in all of our thinking and prattling on that shows a better total first season and season finale than Battlestar.
Right.
I would agree. I would totally agree with that. Yeah. Starts with a bang and ends with one too, and a cliffhanger to boot. Like I'm glad I didn't have to wait like 4 months or whatever it was.
Yeah, you just had to wait a week.
And
then
Thomas, you are 100%
guys binge like
correct.
6 to 8 of them or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, no truer statement has ever been said.
Ty will run the fleet as well as Bird of Prey runs Kuroga.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, because by this point we've had, of course, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. So Danny's already formulated his opinion about how crazy and toxic Ellen Ty is. So
I mean, I was like,
you were absolutely, as soon as he was in the next in the opening episode, when it's like, oh, he's in control, it's like, oh well, this is going to go really well, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got, it's just a mess from top to bottom. And that's actually honestly, and notice.
Oh wow, Randall Wong's comment is spot on.
This is fine. I'm fine.
Everything's
Nothing to
fine
see here. Everything's fine.
But yeah, it's and they do it again very well with season 2, where the last thing we see is all the Cylons marching on the city. Is that when you end these seasons thinking, oh, there's no way out. They're completely screwed. There's
no. I I thought Adama was dead. I really
Right.
did. I just, yeah.
But it's like you think about, like, look at the end of season 2, and you're like, wait a minute, the Cylons have completely taken over, and the Galactica and Pegasus don't even have a full crew.
Yeah, like 3/4 of everybody is down on the planet because everybody's kind of given up on traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
so, yeah. What are gonna do?
Cloud9 is blown to smithereens. So however many people they lost with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they really set that up for a harsh punch in the gut finale, even for season
It's a
2.
good thing that season 3 ends on such a happy note.
Oh yeah, they like find all the happy things. At the end of
Right.
season
Well, and
3.
let's not forget the season
No.
4. Let's not forget the season 4 half season cliffhanger.
Okay. Hey, now. Hey,
don't
let's
remember.
not talk about
You don't
territory.
remember?
I'm not in yet. So
No, I
It's-
don't remember how they did the
Picture
half
Adama
season
doing
4.
this.
hey, man, what are you trying to like?
Okay,
spoil
no, he's
stuff?
just I know what he's talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shot, that and then you have to
Yeah.
wait. Oh,
Yeah.
That was the gut punch right there.
Yeah. But yeah.
That
No,
was a gut
it's-
punch to end all gut punches. So yeah, when Danny sees that one, I think he's just gonna want to like quit watching the show.
Yeah, you'll have an existential crisis for a minute, and then
Yeah,
you'll come back, and then you'll be like, "All right, let's get this over with."
It's honestly, that one is one that gave me nightmares. And we had to wait months for a resolution, because isn't that the one that happened right before the strike?
No, we keep bringing this up,
I know there was a big old break,
but there was an enormous
you said
break
it was-
between season 3 and 4. I know that,
Was
I
it?
thought it was in the middle of 4.
I thought you said it was like in the middle of the season.
but let me just double check because right around that time there was an absolutely tremendous gap in the episodes. Let's see. So season 4, episode
Chief
1.
Cook is trapped on Kobol right now, with the crew, with which Chief Tyrrell and what's his name? Is it Crashdown? No,
Yeah, Crashdown.
yeah, ironically named Crashdown.
So it was 13 months almost between the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4.
Okay, how long
And
was it from the shot that I was talking about until the next episode?
So for months it goes April, May, June. Oh yeah, there was. So Revelations, which is episode 10, and then we had to wait 6 months, give or take a couple weeks, until we finally got the pickup.
Yeah,
6
and that was
months.
6
So
months.
that had to be during the writer's strike then.
Yeah, I think the
Possibly.
writer's strike caused it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and 6 months of one of the of a cliffhanger that makes this one and the one for season 2 seem like a Care Bears episode.
Yeah, it was so
It was
frustrating.
so depressing and so insanely bad that you were like, it's over. The show is just over. There's literally nothing left. And
Yeah.
bam, guess what? You got to wait 6 months.
Yeah, so
In the middle of the season, you got to wait 6 months. you
That's
know?
yeah, so
crazy.
it was
I'm glad I
it
don't
was
have
that strike. So they had 10 episodes in the can, and then the effects of the 2007-2008 strike caused them to take another 6 months before they could.
So they could catch up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, that was so frustrating. Oh,
yeah.
oh man, and like I said, it was so bad, nightmare time.
Yeah,
And
but
you wondered
even the
why.
year and change between season 3 and season 4 was crazy,
Yeah,
and I
But
don't
yeah,
even
you-
know if there was a good reason for that one. But
yeah, you're in for some stuff, Nanny.
it's so lucky that you get to watch this stuff close together. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah. That
Yeah.
fact is not lost.
And
on
yes,
me.
Thomas, Canada has 3 Aprils and 4 Mays. Apparently, that's
I was reading off the month that the episodes were airing in, Thomas.
right. So there's April, May. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's 3 Aprils, 4
and
Mays.
then
So
June,
6 months. You know, so
and then
Well,
boom.
answer Thomas's question. a big part of that is because during the strike, they're not allowed to promote the movie at all. And I don't know if you like the first movie wasn't exactly a like. Correct me if I'm wrong,
The
but
first movie was released on
yeah, but
HBO.
it wasn't exactly like a blockbuster hit. You know, like it was good enough to get the
No,
sequel.
a lot of people were concerned about watching it because they knew it wasn't going to be the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm one of those people where I never bothered to go to it. I haven't even watched it, even though it's available to watch for free with one of the services I've got,
Yeah.
because I don't want to watch it until we're a lot closer to the second half. Because I
You
really,
still haven't seen it?
no, because I really loved the first Dune movie, the one that had Patrick Stewart and
Oh,
and
we'll have to
everybody
do
in
a
it.
we'll have to do a watch.
So a
along
buddy
with
of
stuff.
mine, this buddy of mine, whose name is also Dan, he had a really cool idea, and I wanted to run it by you to see what you guys thought if it would work. He said that it would like he would gladly pay like a premium fee, you know, like more than like, you know, we're talking like 40-50 bucks more, maybe even, but at least 40 bucks, where he could basically, when a movie comes out, he buys like the rights to view the movie, right? So like he could maybe go to a theater and, you know, just like watch it because, like, you know, I paid for this like premium thing, and then let's say he's got to leave in the middle, then he could go home and pick up where he left off on like this private streaming service, like at home, and then maybe he could go back out to a different theater and watch it. Like he's like he would just pay one fee to be able to watch it.
Cineplex up here actually has a service where if you pay a little bit more for your ticket, you get access to a digital copy, but I'm not quite sure how immediate it is.
It's probably not until it's digitally released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he was talking about like
immediate, like kind of like you know, like place shifting, where you can pause it or stop it and then start watching the show someplace else.
I would say this. I would
Yeah.
do it much like how they do online video rentals now, like through Amazon Prime and Vudu and stuff. You know, I know you'd have to make it like some kind of custom viewer so that it would be encrypted and you couldn't copy it, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah.
But I would honestly, if I was, you know, if I was looking at it from the perspective of one of the big distributors, like a Disney or whatever, and thinking about, hey, how do, you know, forget about the theaters for a minute, because the theaters aren't going to do it. They can't. They don't have the rights. But the distributors could actually make it so that, hey, you send, you know, $50 to Disney, and then for 24 hours you can watch the movie on their special encrypted version of Disney Plus.
I mean, that's one thing. His thing was more like, you know, he could watch it, you know, like not even just at home. Like he could start it at one theater and then maybe watch.
Right, but that would be a bit much
theater,
because that would be like,
you know.
you'd have to rent out the whole theater.
No, not at all. Like I guess he was just trying to say he'd pay extra money for almost like
theater now. You know, I mean,
you know, if he sees a little bit, you know, rewatches a little bit of it or whatever, you know, kind of thing. I don't know, but that's just his idea. I thought it was. I was like, there might be something to that.
Hey, look,
like,
considering that for the longest time, and I'm not sure if it's still out there, but there's like pbreak.com effectively.
Yeah.
Where they have people that go out of their way to note exactly when is a good time. Like, do you need to go to the washroom real quick, or do you want to run out and grab some more food? Do it exactly at
right,
and you won't miss anything that actually drives the plot.
Right. Yeah.
So if you got people interested in understanding how to do
or in
that,
the case of Indiana Jones, just go at any time.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is my everybody in my family out here but me, they went and saw the Barbie movie. And I was talking to my oldest son came by a couple of days ago to visit me. Or maybe it was yesterday, a day before yesterday. And he actually liked the movie.
There's a lot of people that are of a generally libertarian or conservative mindset that absolutely love that movie.
It's
been very divisive, which is interesting because there's some people. I think it depends on how seriously you want to try to take it. And there's a problem too, is that there, and I'm sorry, you know, not to knock on people like Critical Drinker and stuff like that, but there are some people, look, this is obviously
Go away now.
no, but this is obviously a tongue-in-cheek film.
Oh,
Right?
Barbie, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't think that there's any, like, I'm not overly worried about some big plot to emasculate men, you know. It's a tongue-in-cheek movie.
Well, in this case, apparently, yeah. Don't read it out loud. Just go read it in the stream of consciousness, Mike.
Yeah.
What?
Because he says don't read it out loud.
Don't read what
It's
loud.
bird.
Oh,
It's
okay.
bird.
Oh.
Well, I was laughing at Thomas Potts. Like,
Oh,
I
and
would-
the bottom
yeah.
one, but
Oh,
yeah,
no,
bird.
Bird, it wouldn't matter if we read that out loud because the person in the background wouldn't be able to hear it.
Yeah. What did Tom say? I'd rather watch another 5 seasons of Disco.
No.
I don't know, Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's, I see, my attitude about Barbie is no, not for the theater. Yes, whenever it comes out on streaming for quote unquote free on whatever service, because I expect it to be bonkers, stupid schlock.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, because I didn't care about spoilers, at the end of the movie, the last 15 minutes of the movie was when they basically go patriarchy bad. But before that, it's apparently just full on, just la la dumb, make you laugh, stupid.
Right.
But I don't care. Like I'll still watch it. I mean, and it's
Look,
Hollywood.
if you're really worried about the political perspective of a film, you probably shouldn't see any film. You know, because honestly, most movies. You know, and
Daddy's like going to war over there. He's like, nope, that doesn't work. Next.
you could always just zoom in on yourself.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, you can always use the focus on your head more thing.
Yeah.
Zoop.
And now watch it zooms in on her.
There's a slider. Yeah. It misidentifies and it. Yeah, don't use tracking, but there's a zoom option you can use in it.
But yeah, I like remember Thomas. You were saying, "Oh, I'd never watch a Barbie movie," but you watch a Barbie movie with Mystery Movie Night with Matthew. We watched that one Barbie movie, and it was hilarious. We watched one of the animated Barbie films, and some of the dialogue was so unintentionally funny because, like, Barbie met a mermaid in it, right? And so it's obviously an animated kids movie, right? But Barbie's in the water swimming. And then all of a sudden, this other girl's head pops up right in front of her in the water and goes, "Hey, there's a cave down there."
You really took the time to watch a Barbie cartoon.
And we just started talking about laughing because
were you
wow.
stoned or something?
No, dude, it was.
Were you sober? Like, were you drunk?
We used to do a thing called Mystery Movie Night with Matthew on Friday
Oh
night.
yeah,
and
you made Matthew watch that, did you?
Yeah, Matthew and I watched it together.
Oh, God.
And we'd watch really bad movies, and it was actually a lot of fun. But yeah, you know, do I think that Barbie is going to be a seriously great movie? No.
Oh damn! Mom just sold me on Oppenheimer. I didn't even know that movie had sex scenes. Well, I'm gonna go see it now.
Yeah, because you can tell Danny wants to see Cillian Murphy naked. That's and by the way, before you decide that that's a selling point, you should probably watch the pitch meeting that he did on Barbie and Oppenheimer at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? I haven't watched that yet.
Because they've been doing what do they call it?
Barbieheimer.
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer. So at the end of it, it's like, so we even thought we could come up with a clever name for both movies at the same time. And they're like, "What are you thinking?" Well, we're thinking Oppen Barbieheimen.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's but yeah, apparently, Oppenheimer's most well-known quote, "I become death."
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Yes, apparently he says that during a sex scene.
What? I don't believe that at all. That's like
I
you
will say
telling me
this about
sticks and tie.
the pitch
Get it
meetings
on.
are silly and funny, but the facts about the movies are always 100% true.
Fascinating.
And so that means that in the movie, Cillian Murphy is having sex with someone, and he says that during. Yeah.
Right on.
And it's like, as soon as I heard him say that, I was like, yeah, I'm out. that no.
I'll still watch. I'm still very interested in watching the movie, but from a historical perspective, he apparently only says that one line when they actually watch the Trinity test go off.
Right.
So maybe our friend
Barbie Hyman.
No, what's his face?
Cillian Murphy.
No,
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan was trying to be a little too artistic.
Yeah, and look, Christopher Nolan is a great director and all, but I think he's just a tad overrated.
Well,
That's
my only issue with Christopher Nolan is that he's like it's like Ridley Scott. He can be really good, and he can also be very not good.
Yeah,
but he still continuously thinks that he's always good because we, the audience, didn't understand what it was he was doing.
Well, the problem to me though is that he's got a following that always thinks he's really good too. Like, you know, he could put out a movie that the entire movie is just 2 hours of Danny sitting on the toilet, and every couple of minutes you hear, you know, and they would say it's genius.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a very strange place to go, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that you know, they'll call
So
it
yeah, like
you know, Dannyheimer.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, the fun
Danny
one.
Dumper.
The fun one was me finding. I'm going to go to Metacritic. If people haven't seen this on Metacritic, an interesting thing that they do is they have a full rundown of the average. Is it no? They have a rundown of the actual average ratings for actors and directors from all of their content. And the average career score, and these are not done from user scores, these are done from the certified reviewers. Whoa! All the Danny. The average career score for Chris Nolan is 68, which is decent, but it's certainly not some 92.
Right.
Lisa, thanks for stopping by. You have a good night as well. Yeah, we're kind of wrapped up with the battle.
We're basically
Now we're talking about
we're just talking.
Well, yeah, and I probably ought to get going actually.
Yeah.
And I've got an unexpectedly long day tomorrow. Yeah,
Sure,
got to deal with the blurry thing.
Yeah.
The blurry object must be dealt with.
Yes.
Well, and then so let me just say that you are the salt of the earth. I'm the salty trekker, and there's a mysterious person stroking a cat behind Danny.
That is fact.
Yes, that is all fact.